Taarifa anayotoa kwa sasa Bwana Ukur Yattani, waziri wa masuala ya fedha humu nchini, ambaye anaiaga ofisi yake iliyokuwa ofisi ya leba humu nchini. Tumsikize.
Yes, Mwale and our team. We also have team from, I'm sure, from finance, from procurement, from accounts, IT, ICT. Please sit down. Officers from social protection. The acting secretary, director of, actually the director of administration, Malim, I think you know from some other life. We have planning, we have children's services, we have administrator Ntabo and the group, we have directors. We have Madam Meme is the head of HR and social protection. We have Gabo, who is the CEO of the National Council for Persons with Disability. We have Josephine Muriuki, Head of Director Social Development. We have Sangani, Director of Children's Services. Social Protection. We have Cecily Mbaka, Director Social Protection. We have Kashigi actually now deals with the issues of all the cash transfers in this country, and is actually a flagship project for State Department of Social Protection. Any other person? Where the planning team? If you are here, just raise your hand. That I mentioned, isn't it? Finance, procurement. Bas Karibuni, please take your seats. Yeah. Do you have, what is the managing trustee of NSF? Very good. Omeriko. NITA. NITA is the National Industrial Training Authority that deals with issues of skill development. So, Waziri, karibu sana. Before I give an opportunity also to the outgoing Chief Administrative Secretary on Rabari, under labor, over the period, we've managed to deal with a number of things, because gone are the days when there is confrontation between the ministry and the unions or the employers. We've created a synergy among ourselves where we work closely together, and where alternative dispute resolution, what we call ADR, has been a center of our engagement. Because the desire for better welfare is good, but it has to be backed by an economy that can support. So what we have done is that we work so hard between the tripartite arrangement that we engage on all the time. The institution of the labor board is quite critical, because it's like some kind of a processing house where all new laws, policies, engagement, or whichever undertaking that we want to take, it needs to have support and understanding of the various tripartite arrangements. That will be key, and I beseech you to stay on course. Gone are the days of, confrontations. Thus, they no longer work. Particularly, it cannot work under the new current political and the constitutional dispensation. Is give and take, is an engagement that will be very necessary. Over the time, we've also managed to build strong partnership between ourselves and other stakeholders. The institution of the development partners are very strong and very useful and very engaging. We also expect you to continue on that trajectory. We are keen about skill development. That's why NITA is there, because labor as a factor of production, in my view, is the most important. Because you can have all the machines, you can have all the technology, but if you do not have the people who can manage and coordinate and give appropriate command, it can be a challenge. So labor is the most important. An empowered labor force, and skilled labor force, an informed labor force that is also alive to the realities of the day, will be the most important asset for this country. And that's why we need to give the best in terms of giving them that necessary skills and no capacity to perform. Labor productivity in this country is said to be not as productive as in the developed countries. On average, the productivity of a worker in Singapore is almost 5 times the productivity of workers in Kenya. That from the study. We want to narrow down that gap to make sure that we are as competitive and as productive as a labor force in any of the developed countries. This is also one area that you really need to move very fast and continue empowering to make sure that those reforms that we have undertaken will yield the necessary fruits. We also care about the welfare and the health of the Kenyan workers. That's why we have the Department of Occupational Safety and Health in carrying out inspections in those factories to make sure that the environment they work in are safe, healthy, and secure. In terms of cleanness, in terms of protection from equipment, in terms of protection, the environmental protection. That's also one area that you really need to look at. The social security, NSSF, has been around for a very long time. It's doing a good job, but has a very serious historical challenges. In the years back, when we mention NSF, automatically what comes to the minds of most Kenyans is malgovernance, challenges of corruption, is challenges of inefficiency. But over time it has worked so hard, and I want to believe that they have made good progress. I can't say they are fully there yet, but in terms of reforms, they are well on course, and they need to brief you so that you work with them closely. Waziri, in the area of social protection, because the measure of any country is how we take care of the vulnerable segment in the society. In the Department of Social Protection, we think of families as the most indivisible, useful, important unit in any society. We deal with issues of disability, we deal with issues of children, we deal with issues of people who cannot be on their own, people who requires the goodwill and understanding of the rest of the country. And they are in able hands. The reforms that we've undertaken over the time, I'm confident that, will realize all that much needed, output that we'll have wished. We are not there yet because of challenges of resources. If we had all the necessary resources, then maybe we'll have done more. But given the limited resources we have, we've undertaken a number of interventions. There are still gray areas. There are 1 or 2 institutions that are not fully aligned to the ministry. But that's a matter that I think we are going to discuss in details to make sure that the resources that we trust to these various units are used for the intended purpose. That there has to be zero corruption, tolerance to corruption, because we have no reason to be. Those institutions must work, must discharge its duties accordingly. And if the officers are not aligned and they want to hide themselves under the law by rushing to institutions that's going to give them some temporary reprieve, we will not allow that. And I think that is we expect you to do the same, to make sure that what belongs to the children are given to the children without any corners, without any challenges. Waziri, the most important, the flagship project of this State Department is the cash transfer. We had administered about a budget of 26 billion, should have actually been up to 30 billion, but because of inadequacy of budgetary support, we are not there yet. Under this, we handle the elderly, the orphans and the vulnerable, and people living with severe disability. The reforms that we have undertaken to make sure that that money meant for a beneficiary X reaches that beneficiary on time, in the same amount and at their convenience. And also making sure that, they have that necessary dignity so that not everybody knows that they are on this cash support program. That means, we have incorporated and each of them run their own personal accounts and we conduct transfers by monthly. After every 2 months, they get the stipend and it's up to them to use that money as and when they require. And they don't have to do all that money at once. They can do savings. We've even seen cases where some beneficiaries have graduated from the program because they try to make savings and engage in other income-related activities. And up to 1,300,000 beneficiaries are now getting that support. The potential is more, up to 5 million are supposed to be on this program. But because of the budgetary constraint, therefore,